Well, hello and welcome to Race Spec's Pacific Series Go Workplace Training, sponsored. We're here for round 12 action, Tier 2 at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya in Spain. I'm Bodhod and I'll be your commentator for the evening. Just quickly mention now, we did not have a stream last week, so apologies if you were looking out for that. I ended up driving. We had very low numbers. So we did miss that stream, but we are back with what is actually quite a full grid, which is good to see. So good to see everyone getting involved here again this week. I might jump on board with someone for a hot lap. Spain, really tricky lap to nail. A lot of corners, a lot of places the car can get unsettled. Right on board here though for a lap with Grim Reaper. Turn 1, 2, some pretty treacherous curbs. Flat turn 3 in these cars. It's a wonderful corner, an absolute tyre shredder on the front left. To a bit of a tricky braking zone to 4. Easy to go deep and run off the track there, and once you do, you can't really recover it. It does pretty nicely there. Another sort of medium-low speed corner, important to get the power down as soon as you can on the exit here. So really technical, really fine margins there, and probably the most difficult section on the track. Trying to get the car in a straight line, in and out of that big dip there, through just about flat right-hander corner. Easy to invalidate on the exit, and I think he has there, so that's unfortunate there for Grim Reaper. Coming to this third sector, which is the most technical sector on the track. We're right on board anyway, just to finish the lap here. Slow, long right-hander, another tyre killer. Front left really hurts around here. A lot of fast right-hand corners, not doing that any favours. And this little technical section here, really tricky to nail. Some of these curves can really bite and jump the car. And really unsettled. Looks like Grim Reaper is going to go for another lap here. Currently Bags Little, I think, is filling in. He is sitting on top of 15.5, but I expect Pole to be in the 14s. So we'll see what the likes of F1 Talk and some of these championship contenders can do early in the session, but we might look elsewhere for a moment. Plenty of guys with pull down laps, like Scotty coming around to start his lap. He showed some good pace in the last little while, regularly contending for podiums. Solid P2 last week, I think it was for Scotty, so he'll be looking to bounce back onto the podium this week and really continue his championship charge. Just 3 rounds left after this one, so there's not too long left. So if you're going to make your move, now's the time. Scotty also fighting for the Constructors' Championship at Macedonian. Those two putting in some really solid performances as a team. So important for Scotty to get a lap down here. Spain is really difficult to overtake. A lot of one-line corners, a lot of places where you can really feel turbulent air coming off the the back of the car in front of you. So you really don't want to be stuck in too much traffic, and you can help it. Although in saying that, the soft tyres are not a very durable race tyre here, so it's a real balance between whether you want track position or whether you want ideal tyre strategy. Medium to hard is the way to go at Spain. Although I know the guys at the front would much rather have the clear air and just make do with that. Scotty coming around the final corner now is going to set his first lap, opens up the DRS, and it will put him to the top comfortably of the 15 flats, so that's on the pace. Good lap there for Scotty. Very good banker, really good to build off. Kickbutt Kiwi has already retired from the session in the pit lane, so not too short to go is there. He won't have the chance to improve on that time, 15.9 on mediums, so maybe he just doesn't want to set a soft lap, knowing the strategy is that medium to hard. The soft hard you can stretch if you're really nice on your tyres, and a 2 stops are not really viable just because it's hard to overtake and the pit lane is very long. It is one of the longest straights on the calendar. I think it's one of the, if not the longest runs into turn 1 off the start as well. So perhaps just favouring that strategy. Let's see what happens there. But we might find someone else on a lap. I think Edmund, also another championship contender sitting in the top few positions, is starting a lap here in the Ferrari. Had a decent race last week. Bit up and down of sorts, but pulling in points, which is always important. If you can score consistent points in a tier that's as close as this one is, then it's going to really help you in the championship picture. Consistency really is key. But coming through this second sector now, right on board for this roller coaster reception through here, really easy to go wide and validate. As soon as you put wheels over that curb, on the inside, your lap is done. There's no getting away with it. Coming through the second sector split now, 49.8. Not sure how that compares to the top, but wait and see when he comes across the line. We'll see the section at speed now, which is good. So long right-hander here. Want to get the power down as soon as you possibly can. This is a really tricky turning point. You can't afford to go wide, miss it, compromise the whole run through here, and you can't afford to go too early and hit that inside curve. Edmund getting a bit squirrely on the power, but keep the car in relatively good shape and backs off the lap. So he wants to go out again for mediums, is what I would be guessing there. The only reason you fail on a lap like that. So he knows the strategy. Looks like he's going to try and qualify on mediums as well, which is not a bad shout for him. Will is just starting a lap now in the Alfa Romeo. Teammate Stone Tower currently sitting 11th on a non-representative lap, so we'll see what he can do. He's on mediums, whereas Will here is on softs, so we'll see what kind of time both of them can do. It'll be a good comparison of the pace of the tyres. Will is a 21.2 first sector. Only really one braking zone. He's gone off wide there and in the grass, and he's just managed to keep it in a straight line there, but that's going to be that lap gone. You can see the punishment, carrying too much speed into that turn 4. Tricky braking zone. You really need to carry mid-corner speed, but you obviously can't push your luck too far, so will unfortunately have to dust himself off and go again. As he moves to his teammate, who's just doing some donuts in the third sector as well, trying to get the power down at the exit of the hairpin, which is the slowest corner of the track. So both Alfa Romeos having their own troubles, which isn't what we like to see, but plenty of time still left in the session. For the first time ever, Honest Cook has set a lap before 2 minutes from the end. So there you go. It looks like he's actually going to put in a decent qualifying session. Well, not necessarily decent, but a full qualifying session for Honest Cook, which is the first time in a while. So good on him. Coming to the pits there. Now I want to keep my eye on F1 Hawk, who's probably going to be a fairly likely contender for pole position, leading the championship quite comfortably at the moment, very consistently in the podium places. He's on medium, so I want to see where he can pop himself. Currently S Nui has best medium time there, 15.6, which is actually a pretty good time, sitting in P4, so I expect F1 Hawk to be right up there in that top 4 as well, if not a bit higher. So yeah, if you can really hook up a medium lap, it's going to reap massive rewards for the race. But no, Josh, first time I've seen him for a little while, back in the racing point there, sitting in P4. So good to see him back on the grid after a couple of weeks off. I think a couple of technical difficulties as well as general availability, but good to see a racing point back on the grid. Nadi Cheng's a regular reserve in this tier, be a teammate for tonight. F1 Hawk coming around the final quarter to start a lap now. Might ride on board with the first sector here and see if we get some decent off-board cameras. It's always good to see what the game throws at us. Turn 1, want to get that curb. Turn 2 here, you either want to take all of that curb or none of it. And you see F1 Hawk kind of going in between there and getting a bit slidey. Turn 3, flat out there. Try and get wide for the approach to turn 4 and get the car turned in. 20 on 4, so not a bad first sector time. I'm sure he could have gone a bit quicker, having it correct in turn 2, but still a lot of corners left to go. Makes the most of that. Looks like a pretty tidy line through there, which is good. Up the hill, don't want to lose the back end. That looks not too bad. Had to correct again a little bit, I think, on the off-board camera. Looks like he left plenty of room to work with in that fast right. Not quite using all the exit curves. Purple second sector, who knows if that's true or not. I know the game is pretty trigger happy on throwing those out to people. But it looks like a fairly tidy lap at the moment. Again, not quite using all the exit curve there. So possibly just setting a banker here, getting yourself straightened up, or a bit pinched on the inside there. That's going to compromise his time again, possibly a couple of tenths. Around the final corner to the line, and it's only going to be a 16 flat. So I think he'll be disappointed with that. With F1 Hawk, a couple of mistakes on there, but we'll have another chance to do a lap. Although not sure if we want to put too many laps on those mediums. But we'll have to see what the choice is here. Mark the soft or pole. he might be happy enough to stay down there. We'll have to see what he chooses to do, but I'm sure he could have done a lot better there. Seeing Asnui up there, those two have been quite close on pace in recent times. The Rock's coming around on mediums as well, coming through the third sector now. Looks like he's understeering a fair bit there. A lot of entry speed, so we'll see what the Rock can do. He's, on his day, he's massively fast, but he's probably been quite consistent the last little while, which doesn't help. Coming around the final corner now, it looked a bit tidy. We'll see if it's fast. 16.7, not bad, but I'm sure he's got a lot of room to improve in there as well. So it's been an interesting qualifying. Looks like not many people were really able to hook up complete laps, at least those on the medium tyre, with the exception of Asnui, and then Kickbutt as well with a decent time. You would expect the softs to be 6-7 tenths quicker than mediums, so yeah, it's interesting. As Mastoni is also retiring from the session, he doesn't want to set a soft time either, so he's content to stay there. Will pop himself up to P3 actually, which is a good effort on soft tyres, but still that's a nice tidy lap. But Arnold will be very happy with P2 at the moment on the softs. You know, he would definitely appreciate the track position up the front there. Scotty's still currently sitting on pole with that 15th flat, still 4 tenths the next car. He set that a while ago, so Scotty looking really nice at the moment. We'll see if anyone else can really challenge that. Honest Crook just jumps there into P2, so that's a great lap there for Honest Crook. Reaping the rewards of actually being here for qualifying, rather than just setting a lap at the end there. So P2 is a very solid lap there. He's up and about. I wonder if there's some rain in the race. I know he's always asking in chat about rain, but you wouldn't expect to see him jumping up there. I think Foody's just set a lap good enough for P7 as well. Edmund improves to P9 on mediums, so that's not a bad lap. I'm not sure if he's going to want to set another one on soft, so he might be done for the session, but we'll have to wait and see. Asnui now P8 is the lead medium runner. You don't really want to be right in the middle of the pack here. A lot of treacherous stuff. Quite a narrow turn 1 and 2 particularly before it opens up at 3, so you can't really afford to get damage in the pack. So let's see, I think in AlphaTauri's just dropped at turn 1. Yeah, server is in the fence at Naps turn 2 there, so not ideal. Probably a bit too much inside curve on that one. It can really throw the car. You either need to take all of the inside curve of 2 or none of it. There is real no real in between there. So just trying to find a limit there. Yeah, 3 minutes to go. Not sure how many more people are going to be setting laps. I mean, I assume they wouldn't know the strategy. So yeah, we'll have to see if anyone does choose to come out the pits, because that Reaper is currently at P11, he's on soft tyres. Server's not sure if he's going to do another lap. But these two are the only cars out on track at the moment. There's a Red Bull coming out now, so the Rocky's going to set a lap. There's a couple starting to filter out now, so I think Asnui and Edmund won't be setting laps. Kickbutt Kiwi's sitting in P10 at the moment. He's probably not going to, well, he's definitely not going to set another lap, so he's going to have to improve. The top 7, they may as well come out again. They're starting on softs regardless. I don't think there's enough people down there who are going to set laps. I wouldn't be surprised to see F1 Hawk set another lap. I'm sure he would want to be starting a lot better than 14th. That's a lot of traffic to get through, even though he's very fast, very skilled driver. I'm sure he's going to want to improve on that. Only one McLaren here tonight, actually, so a bit of a surprise perhaps, considering they are the constructors fight. So hopefully F1 Hawk can carry flag for tonight, but Reaper is going to be the first one to set a final lap here. Getting a bit slidey through 2 there. We saw him have to correct the car, which is not ideal. But he's still pointing in a straight line, which is the number one important thing. Currently slightly down on his first sector, so he's got a bit of time to find. He only needs to find 1,000th to improve the position. It looks like everyone's coming out, so never mind that. Everyone bar Nui, Edmund, and Artie are coming out, so Artie will start at the back by looks of things, barring any major mishap in terms of disqualification for anyone else. But Reaper looks like he's really pushing through turn 9 there, watching right out to the outside curb, and he has found a couple of tenths. So Reaper looking to improve into that top 10. Although honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't mind starting P11. That is as good as pole here. So we'll see if he finishes the lap. Coming through the third sector now. It looks like he's going to commit to the lap. So if he improves, he will pop himself probably up to P8 or 9. He's going to finish the lap. It'll be P8 with an identical time to S Nui, but jumps ahead of him there. So yeah, there you go. F1 Hawk is coming around, so he's out on track on soft tyres, so he's going to go for pole. I think he may as well. He'll have the pace, and if he has the clear air, then he should be able to use that pace. So there's no point starting 14th if you've got a lot more pace than that, i.e. podium sort of pace. So he will do a lap a bit wide there, but stays within the track limits. 4.5 tenths up on his best, which is no surprise at all. I think his best is on mediums. Yeah, it is. So those guys, 14, 15, 16, are all doing their first and only soft run. So we'll see where they can land themselves. I think if you can land yourself 11th, that would be a massive win. The session clock has now ticked over, so Will's in P3, Nui and Edmund didn't come out either. So we'll see what they can do in terms of result. There's a Renault right behind F1 Hawk there, picking up a nice toe perhaps. I'm not sure whether that's the Banana Cape Pie there, so we'll see if Banana can put together a better lap as well. Currently sitting P4, it's a pretty good effort for him. Scotty's still sitting P1, but can F1 Hawk take that away from him? It looked like a fairly tidy lap. Whether it's fast though, we're going to find out in about 5 seconds. Missed the last corner slightly, and he's going to pull over as Banana puts himself into P2, so a good lap there. F1 Hawk, probably the big story here, starting 15th. We'll have fresh tyres, but that's a lot of cars between him and the top. Where's Scotty at coming across the line? Can he improve? He doesn't. So he'll be poled regardless, but doesn't quite improve. Bags Little is going to come across the line, but he hasn't validated. And I think Artie Cheng's will be the last person to set a lap who's also invalidated. So that'll be it for qualifying. Big story, F1 Hawk. Not sure why he's bailed on the lap there. It wasn't invalid. But Banana Pie taking a nice toe for there, helping him onto the front row. He'll be laughing. I think so. Well done to Banana on a, I think it is his season best quality. I don't remember seeing him on the front row again. Yeah, not sure, but we'll see what he can do from P2. But couldn't catch Scotty, who set that lap right at the start of the session. So a really solid job for Scotty. Wrapping up pole. And yeah, Stone Tower as well, probably a special mention there in the P3. He's improved at the line too. So Alfa Romeo, 2 guys in the top 5 is a very good result. Cookie with a good lap too. Look at what you can do when you actually qualify for more than the last 2 minutes. Reaper, Little, Josh Kavuti and Nui in the top 10, Nui on mediums. Edmonds, Kickbutt, Serba, Macedonian, Hawk, The Rock and Artie Chengs will get free tyre choice, although a lot of cars between them and points. So it'll be a tough race regardless. We've already talked strategy, so we don't really need to do that again. I'd be surprised if anyone started on hards, because once you get damage on those, your race is done. I don't think anyone's going to start on mediums. Sorry, I don't think anyone's going to start on softs. They don't last long enough outside the 10, so mediums are the best race type by a long way. So yeah, see what this race throws up at us. Should be an interesting race. If anyone in chat has some predictions, let me know. But yeah, I think a bit of a wait and see to see what people choose to do for the strat. Yeah, there's not too much else to cover, I don't think. I'll just check the chat, see what people are saying. I don't think rain will affect this session at all. Looks pretty dry to start off with, and I don't think it will change. So it should be a fully dry race, as we are here for the formation lap now. And tyres. So yep, as expected, 11 down have chosen to put fresh mediums on. S Nuis are slightly older, having qualified on those, but mediums nonetheless. So no surprises there for anyone. The likes of Edmonds, Kickbutt and Server are going to be very quick from probably lap 3 onwards. The softs really don't last long at all. So we'll see what they can do in terms of making progress with the field early. But Scotty, Banana Cake Pie are going to be laughing with some clear air in front of him. Stone Tower, I'm in P3 as well. He's not, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but he's not the best off the line. And he's got a long run to turn 1 to hang on to P3. So I'd keep an eye on Oscar and Will to make some moves perhaps as well. But it's going to be an interesting race, see what people can do from their respective positions. Yeah, so see what this race throws at us. If anyone's brave on the brakes, the first couple of corners, you can really win or lose your race there. It is a long race, 33 laps, so don't want to throw it all the way too early, but the start is always critical, particularly around a track like this where it is quite difficult to overtake in the middle of the sector. But long straight makes for a really good passing zone into turn 1, but there's not really much place to do it as. I just want to mention here, Scotty's absolutely legged it to the line. Banana Cake Pie is actually leading the field around. So Scotty definitely trying to get the heat in his tyres. I do believe that as soon as the AI take over at the last corner, your tyre temps stay the same. So there's no real point in holding everyone up or jetting away, I don't think, because like in terms of getting the tyres prepared. So fairly standard there, but everyone is in their slots now. Game suggests a 2-stop. It won't be a 2-stop, I don't think. It should be a 1-stop for most people, unless some of these soft guys feel like they have the pace to get up there, which is probably going to be quite difficult. The likes of Prezzo might try, but yeah, not too sure. But we are ready to go. So you get a better camera angle. Yeah, that's better. Alright, we have lights. 5 red lights, and we are underway, and looks like a decent start. Honest Crook has not moved off the line. That's going to cause a bit of a chaos effect behind. I wonder if he's had a bit of a glitch there, but he's already dropped well down the order. But Banana and Scotty into turn 1, even Stevens. And Banana will swoop through and take the lead. Oh, there's a bit of a bump from an Alfa Romeo behind into Scotty, but looks like, yeah, Scotty's been pushed out wide. The Stone Tower very aggressive off the start there, and Scotty's been pushed back a little bit. Looks like a fairly tidy start after them. Honest Crook's already dropped a lot of positions though. Scotty's being pushed out again. I'm not sure what's happening with Scotty here. He's being absolutely... Oh, I wonder if we've got a slight desync issue here where they can't see Scotty, because Scotty's been absolutely bodied off the start here. There's just cars driving to the side of him all the time. We might see here. I'm really confused here. I wonder if there's a bit of a desync issue here. There is an incident at the back. I think the Rock and Kickback have come together. I'm just quite confused as what's happening to Scotty, because everyone's sort of driving right through him, and he's being turned around and crashed into. I feel like no one can see Scotty. I'm really confused at this. I'm sure I'll find out something a bit later on, but we have to move on. I wonder if he's desynced out of the session. That's a weird one. Banana Cake Pie will lead the field across though, the line for the first time. Let's try and sort this out, because that was a bit of a weird one at the start. Reaper is not in P2, so not too sure what's happening to the leaderboard. I think the Stone Tower's still in second, and Will in third. So good starts to the Alfa Romeos, boys. I'm really confused with what's happening to Scotty there. It was as if no one saw him. He just got absolutely bodied from the start. So that's a real mystery. I'm not sure what's happened. We'll have to follow that up a bit later. I think our leaderboard's right now though, which is good. So we can see where people are at. Esnu, Macedonian have moved up a couple of positions, 7 and 8. Server in 9th, Hawk in 10th. So Hawk's already made up a few spots as well. Cookie, we saw, didn't get off the line there. Scotty has dropped more positions as well. I think Kickbutt, he had that incident with the Rock, so we didn't quite catch that. I saw 2 cars stationary at 9-10, so maybe just a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And Kavudi looks like he's made a pit stop, so been a bit of a spicy start. Kavudi, sorry, has 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. That's not going to help him at all. Joshy a bit wide there in the last chicane. I wonder if Bag Delivery is going to have a run here. He should have some momentum. DRS is flashing there, but I'm not sure if it's actually active yet, because it's only lap 3, so I'm really confused here. But he's got by Josh pretty easily. Server has left the session. I wonder if he's lagged out or just quit. Not too sure there, but he's now dropping through the field as a result of his AI driving slowly. So not too sure what the go is there. I think Edmund is going to swallow him up pretty soon as well. The leaderboard's still doing funny things. And yeah, he's just going to passively let everyone go. But Banana leads from the Stone Town Wheel, so 3 guys up the front, making the most of their soft tyres while they are a thing. Because by about lap 3 or 4, they definitely won't be viable to stay on. I mean, they're going to try and stretch the hards. I think the hards will do 26, 27 laps relatively comfortably, depending on how you manage that left front, which does take the beating around here. So if they can get to lap 6, 7, 8, that'd be really good for the soft runners. But you probably can hit lap 5 or 6 and try and stretch the hards if you really, really need to. We'd expect to see 2 stoppers in really this lap or next lap to make the most of medium tyres, which are the best race tyre by a long way. But yeah, we'll have to see what they choose to do. Banana Cake Pie is currently leading from the Stone Tower. DRS activated now as the Stone Tower's very wide into there and picks up a penalty. So that's going to hurt him towards the end of the race if the field stays close. Looks like Service joined back in, which is good, so he's lost a few positions, but hopefully he can control his car again and get on with it. Well, it looks like the cork in the bottle at the moment is Bags Little's. He's dropped about 1.5 seconds to Will, so the top 3 starting to check out now. Snui up to P6 on mediums, so it looks like the mediums have already overtaken the softs on pace. So have to see what he can do in terms of making some inroads in the leaders once he clears this little pack. But pushing Reaper through this S section and now on the flat right hand and now coming into the braking zone. Down the inside, does he get the car stopped? He does. Squeeze on the exit, and Snui is into 5th on mediums. So Snui's in a really nice spot. He could really challenge a podium here on those medium tyres. He'll have a lot more tyre life come the second stint, plus a lot more grip now. So he's the one to watch at the moment. Macedonian's the next one on medium tyres. He's on fresh mediums, remember. Whereas Snui had to qualify on his, so he's going to want to watch as well. Scotty, I'm still not really sure what the status of him is. He has he come into the pits, or has he just lost all that time? He hasn't pit. So I'm not sure if I'm just getting this really weird glitch where he's appearing a long way back and he's actually not there, or whether he is actually there and not in first. I'm really, really confused. I'm going to have to ask some of the guys at the end of the race. Apparently the gap is about 1 second between Banana and Scotty, who's now back at the back. So, yeah. I think we're just going to have to assume Banana is in the lead. I'm going to have to look at the footage again though, because it just looked like no one saw Scotty. They were just all pushing him out wide and driving into him and everything on the racing line. So, real mystery. But Banana Cake Pie is checking out now. He's dropped 1 second from the Stone Tower. So the Prezzo will not have DRS, as looks like Macedonian and Reaper having to move on into the hairpin, and Macedonian is through a mediums tyre, so Reaper's hanging on just on those softs. Josh falling behind, but then you got a bunch of medium runners who will be licking the heels of these guys until they come into the pits. Really, lap 5 you could probably pit now if you really need to. F1 Hawk getting a bit slidey again through that last chicane. Is anyone in the pits yet? No. So then you're going to do another lap. Don't feel like the mediums will get, well, the hards will get there yet. Bit of a DRS train here though. Reaper is going to have DRS to defend from Joshy. They'll stay as R at the moment. Evan Hawk still sitting behind as Kickbutt and the Rock at the back, having a bit of a scuffle, possibly a bit of emotions running high in that battle. If they did get involved in an incident at the start, but you expect both of them to bounce back pretty well. We know what their pace is like. I'm not really sure where Server's car is at either. Doesn't look like he's getting control of it yet, but I'm not too sure. A lot of weird things happening in this race. Bags Little is in P3 now though, so he's made a move on Will. So Will's made a mistake somewhere, and Bags Little has made the move into P3. I didn't catch that one there, so not too sure what happened there, because Bags Little had a big gap to Will before. As Will got some damage, doesn't look like it, so possibly just drive it off the track slightly for Will. It's cost him P3 and it's going to leave his teammate now vulnerable a little bit behind as we have yellows, and that looks like the Rock has got around in the third sector. Yeah, he has, so those tyres will be nice and hot. Not good in the mediums, and not ideal now, he's a long way behind people, so that's not going to help his chances. Keep an eye on this paddle here though, because this is heating up. Joshy now making a move on Reaper into turn 1. Wheel to wheel, as close as you could get without touching, and Joshy's just enough to slid in behind again from Reaper, who does a decent job defending. F1 Hawk's going to be trying to sneak through though down in the inside of the racing point and gets it done. It's a solid move there from F1 Hawk on the medium tyres. Joshy can't quite fight back, and Reaper's now going to be the next one to try and hold on to P7, but not sure if he's going to be able to. He's going to lose a lot of grip in the next lap or two if he stays out in these soft tyres. It's Joshy's round, and in the wall hard. That is a big incident there for Josh. There's his car. We saw him just losing traction at the bottom of the hill there. He's definitely going to have to make a pit stop now off those tyres. He's got some damage in the front wing too, so that's not going to help him at all on the soft tyres. Hasn't brought out a safety car, which is good or bad depending on who you are, but he's dropped now out of the points. Does anyone pit? Top 3 are in the pits, so Banana, the Stone Tail and Back Livers are all coming in, as is Scotty. Okay, so Scotty has the pit limiter on there. And that looks like he's moving into his pit box. So I think what's happening is we can't see Scotty where he actually is, as we have a safety car now. Let's go have a look at these pit guys. So Banana's put mediums on, so he's 2 stopping it. Stone Tail's put hards on, he's 1 stopping it. Bags Little's also on mediums, Reaper's on hards. So a bit of a mix of strategy. There's a few more guys putting on mediums than I would have thought. But I get Pie as the leader of those who have pit properly, other than Scotty, who we're not really sure where he is. Scotty's now up to speed again. So I think what's happening is Scotty is actually in front or next to Banana Cake Pie. However, I have a visual glitch where he's appearing about 30 seconds behind that, because he had the pit limiter on in the middle sector when the game said he was in the pit. So I think that's what's happening. So I have no idea where Scotty actually is, which is unfortunate in the scheme of this race. But yeah, just gonna have to take a guess, I guess. So really have no idea. But Will is now the leader. He's surely gonna pit. Yeah, good. Macedonian follows him of medium. So I wonder if these guys are gonna put hards on and go to the end. Might be the way to go. P1, 2, 4, 5 all coming in. Skipbutt coming in, yes. This S Nui coming in, yes. So they're all taking this chance of a pit stop. They know how long the pit lane is and how difficult it is to overtake. So they are taking the chance to pit. And probably pop in the hards and go to the end. Those are mediums, definitely will. And oh, what are you doing, F1 Hawk? Has put on softs. I'm not sure why you're putting on softs, because he's going to have to pit again soon and go medium, so he's going to have to 2-stop from here. But that's interesting. That's very interesting for F1 Hawk. The Rock has also put on softs. Maybe a bit more understandable considering how far back he is. Scotty is in P13 there coming through, but whether he's actually in P13 we'll never know. It doesn't really look like human responses there on the throttle and brake inputs, so I don't know whether Scotty is in front of Banana or not, or whether he's actually down there. Hopefully they can see him. As F1 Hawk has a 5-second for collision with Artie Cheng's. Now, what's happened there? Because there's 2 cars in between them, and Artie Cheng's isn't really anywhere near F1 Hawk. I wonder if... I'm just having a look on the replay map here. I wonder if Artie Cheng's has been spun around and lost positions now because of it. Yeah, I'm really confused at this point. Banana Cake Pie is leading, although Server is in front of him, but he's probably going to get penalised for overtaking the safety car, so I can't get by it. Scotty may or may not be leading. Server picks up the time penalty for cutting up the safety car, which is not the way you want to do it. But this has been one weird race so far. I'm not sure what is quite going on. What we do know is that Banana, Barracks Little are going to have to stop again, as will F1 Hawk, S Nui the Rock, Scotty will all have to stop again, because the mediums are not making it and the softs definitely aren't. So I reckon the Stone Tail is in the best position at the moment. He's on the best tyre to go to the end, and he shouldn't have a problem with making it to the end. His medium tyres, his safety car laps will really help him. So yeah, I think Stone Tail's in the best spot. I don't think Banana's going to make it to the end. He might try, as will Bags Little. Unless they count another safety car. So, not sure. Weird one. F1 Hawk's going to be rapid though at the start, as will the Rock. That's two things we do know for certain. But the rest of it, who knows. Now, I'm actually going to stay on board with Banana Cake Pie, because the distance he keeps from server might indicate whether Scotty is in between them or not. Because if Banana Cake Pie doesn't get close to server, we're going to have to assume there is another car in between there. And if he does get close to server, then we know Scotty's not there. But the distance that he's keeping at the moment, it looks like Scotty may actually be there. Because on our map, Scotty is in the midfield. Safety car isn't this late, that's a late call. I'll go back with Banana, as Banana Josh has retired on track, which is not the way you want to do it. This race just gets weirder and weirder. I'm genuinely confused about most of what's happened. Now, Banana's not getting close to server as well, so that tells me that server is there, that Scotty is there. So I reckon Scotty is actually leading the race effectively, and we just can't see it. But we are on the way now. Looks like a decent restart. I think server, I'm not sure what he's going to do. He's probably going to be getting blue flags to let all these guys go. Although realistically, he's just going to have to jet it and try not to get overtaken. So server's going to have to gun it regardless, I think. But Stone Tail in P3, he's in a nice spot. It's just a matter of whether those hards will heat up for him. He's going to have Bags Littles all over the back of him soon, as well as F1 Hawk, who will be all over the back of him soon. F1 Hawk's probably going to be the one to watch on those soft tyres. He's going to come under pressure. He's Macedonian, and he's going to squeeze his way down the inside. That's a late move there, and F1 Hawk's going to use the grip of those softs to get that move done. Can he hold it down the inside? He's going to absolutely go late at the brakes and do it. So F1 Hawk with all the grip in the world. Macedonian pushing through. Doesn't quite have the grip or track length to mount much of a comeback. So F1 Hawk is the one to watch. He's already gone down the inside wheel as well, late in the brakes. We'll have to check up a little bit there, as is Macedonian, but F1 Hawk now through into P5, so he's got massive pace at the moment. Edmund, Kickbutt, Nui, the Rock behind also have a lot of pace. I'm not sure about Nui's strat, about putting more mediums on. But we'll have to see whether he can make the most of that, because he's definitely going to stop again to fill the tyre requirements. You can't go medium, he's going to have to use a second compound. Those who know Formula 1. But first lap here, F1 Hawk's making up moves, and he's going to make another one here, I think, on Reaper. Down the inside, late the brakes, he should be able to outbrake him, and he does. Reaper on the hards, can't quite stick it alongside. As we have yellows all around the track. I'm sure that's just a glitch on my end, because F1 Hawk just made the move, so hopefully that's not something the drivers see, but I'm really not sure what's happening with the game. The last week or so for me, spectating races, it's just seemed to be really broken. Yeah, I don't really have any answers for you. I think it's just the game glitch. I mean, the game's been out for what, 10 months and it still doesn't work. And there's not much we can really do about it, is there? All I can really do is watch what's in front of me. I'm trying to do my best with that. It looks fairly tidy on the restart now, which is good, so doing alright. Server's out the front of the pack still. Banana Cake Pie is right there. I wonder if Server's going to be getting 5-second penalties for blocking or ignoring blue flags soon. He's dropped it there, and again, and he's gonna, yeah, I'm not sure if there was contact there because I'm pretty sure the ghosting stays on, so they can't actually hit each other. But Serve's going to lose all that trap position now and drop back a full lap down pretty much now as Benike Pi gets a 5 second for ignoring yellows. As does Edmund. And did Prezzo as well? The Rock got it. Oh, this lobby's so broken. This lobby's really, really broken, I think. Hawk's got it, Mastonian's got it, Edmund's got it, The Rock's got it. Yeah, this lobby's cooked. But they're going to continue. They're probably too far through to really restart it. But it's kind of wrecking the race because Bernard's going to have to stop again and surf that. As Will has gone round. Yeah, Will's in the gravels. He's lost it up the hill as well. So not the first incident we've seen there and probably won't be the last. But that's going to bring out a safety car. And what do you do if you're Banana? Do you pit and take the penalty now, or do you stay out and just hope that you can get it removed post-race? I'm not sure if the mediums are still going to make it. But this race has been something else. I still don't know where Scotty is. Banana is going to pit, so he's going to get rid of that penalty now and probably put on hards at the end. Mediums might just make it, but I don't think you count on it. So that's going to... Who knows where Scotty is? That's going to put Stone Town lead on my screen. A couple of guys pit, so F1 Hawk. This saves F1 Hawk. And also saves The Rock, who made a bit of boo-boos on the last car restart. I'm just going to quickly type in the chat here. Give me a sec, I'm just going to sort out some of these problems. So yeah, we do have a safety car. Prezzo leads from Reaper from Macedonian. Banana has put mediums on, so he thinks they'll get to the end. I think you may as well. You've lost the track position now, so may as well try something to get to the end. He's got all hard runs in front of him, so it might help. Scotty is now down to P10 as well on medium tyres. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just having a quick chat to the lobby coordinator now to see what we're going to do about it. Because yeah, this has not been a very smooth race, not a very smooth stream. Sort of due to the game, or mostly due to the game. But we do what we do with what we got. Yeah, can't do much else. On my screen, Scotty's crashed. But who knows at this point whether it's legit or not. Yeah, quick apologies for not really chatting too much. I'm just trying to sort out all this mess and get some clarity on what's actually happening, because I think a few of the drivers are experiencing some glitches as well, with some dodgy yellows and questionable 5-second penalties. I think server spinning there has caused a lot of guys to get 5 seconds, which the game shouldn't do. A, because you're allowed to overtake the car who's caused the yellow and crashed off the track, and B, server should have gotten a bunch of 5 seconds for actually for not letting people go. So a lot of really dodgy stuff happening there. Alright, so according to Reaper, Scotty is still in the lead. So I mean, this commentary is sort of pointless then if we can't actually see where people are. But we'll do our best. So Stone Tower's in P2 and he's gone. Reaper is third, but he's been overtaking Macedonia here. Scotty's now coming back in the lead, but who knows if he's actually there. Yeah, this has been a really scrappy stream. I do apologise, but we'll do our best to continue on. We're only halfway through this race, so let's hope that things sort of fix each other up, fix themselves up a little bit, because otherwise it would make it a very difficult race to try and follow. Now I think Banana's going to be one on the move, and he already is, yeah, on the medium tyres, fresh mediums. Everyone else in front of him is on slightly worn hards, so Banana will have all of the pace they could possibly hope for. Will also pit for the mediums as well. He had a couple of blunders, we saw him spin a bit, but he's got a chance to get some positions back. Scotty is theoretically in the lead, but who knows where he is. Zerba is a lap down and trying to catch the pack again. I think he caused a couple of those dodgy yellows. In terms of pens, I'm just going to check if those pens are 5 seconds or not. Yes, Macedonian's 5 seconds, Edmund's 5 seconds, on says 8, which is a 5-3. So they might be able to get him removed post-race. Prezzo is fine. That is a genuine penalty there. We saw that in lap 3 or 4, I think. So he's in a bit of trouble if that stays there. He's going to have to stretch the legs a tiny bit. Reaper has got a bit of pressure from behind though, in the form of Edmund. I'm just trying to figure out what these gaps actually are. Lead ball's not helping too much. But Reaper is now coming through the first couple of corners. DRS will be open at the end of this lap, I think. So Reaper's going to have to make a couple of positions or a bit of time to get that time back. And Oscook's in the wall at turn 2. He's dropped on the inside, I think, possibly made a bit of contact with someone, not too sure, but he's now way down the field after a strong qualifying. He's now a long way back and with damage, so that's not good for Ferrari. That's big damage there on the inside of the front wing, so not going to help his cause in terms of trying to hunt down points. Now, there's a big tasty battle in the middle here. I can see F1 Hawk and Destiny trying to get by a couple of guys in the middle. We've got more yellows. And that is for Will again. He's jumped it again in the same spot. And that's going to put him well down again. Cookie's going to come through with damage as well. He's not quite going to get him, but Will, another error there. He's dropped it again. Sliding off the track with those hot mediums. He's just going to have to take a couple of cool down laps, I think, to get those tyres back into a controllable temperature. This is not good for him and Alfa Romeo after what was looking like a pretty promising race. So yeah, shame for there. Speaking of promising, 2 Williams in the top 7. They didn't qualify that well. Kick button mediums in the mid-pack, I think who did the same. So they're doing right to hang on to points. They've got Banana coming up behind them though. Banana's going to have a lot of pace in those mediums still. They should get to the end without really any problem. So Banana's probably got some relatively free range push. Will's picked up 3 seconds as well. He's gone all over the place at the back there. I'm not really too sure what he's doing at the moment. He's going to persevere on, which is good. I respect drivers who finish races regardless of what happens. But yeah, I think Banana's going to be the one to watch here. He's got all the pace at the moment. F1 Hawk and Destiny behind, with battles between them and Banana. They're going to be the ones to watch as well. We know the pace of F1 Hawk leading this championship. Destiny also a contender. So Banana's going to have to get a move on with some of these moves before he gets caught by some of those guys. But as we've mentioned a couple of times, it is really tricky to overtake at Spain. A lot of dirty air effect. Not really many heavy braking zones, not many real straight line bits. This is the best overtaking zone, I think, but the DRS train won't help. Banana's going to have to burn all of his energy there. Find Kabuti, looks like he's burning all of his as well. Up ahead we have to move P4, I think Edmund on the inside, but I was going to absolutely send on the brakes and get the move done, and Baxter might try and follow him through, but doesn't quite get the move done. Kabuti just hangs on, but we saw, I think it was Edmund getting by Reaper for P3, or maybe P4 depending on where Scotty is. So that's a good move there for Edmund in the Ferrari. Keep up Kiwi is the next one to try and get the Mercedes, but Reaper having a solid race in the top 5. I'll see if he can hang on to that, because we've got likes of Banana Cake Pie hunting him down there. So this is a real tasty pack in the midfield here. A lot of guys in DRS. Top two have broken away a bit now, so 2.2 seconds between Edmonds and Macedonian. Macedonian is following Stone Tower with DRS, so they're pulling each other along. Whether Stone Tower has some DRS from the car in front, if there is one, we're not sure, but we'll have to see whether he opens that flap or not. But yeah, I think I'll just try and stay with this pack here. Everyone except for a couple of cars lingering around the back within kind of this big group here, so I want to try and get as much screen time as we can for these guys. The Rock is the last one on this train. He's got a bit of a gap back to Artie, 5.2 seconds. So the Rock trying to follow through. Looks like Kavuri's going to lose a position here down the straight, losing all that battery in the last lap, although he has actually got a fair bit in store, so not using it all. Bags Little, on the other hand, losing a fair bit to get that move done, but now up into P7/8 for those two. So solid there, very solid. Next one on Banana's radar will be Kick Butt Kiwi. 4/10 is the gap now, so Banana has closed that by about half a second in the last lap. So Banana will be well and truly on the back of Kick Butt Kiwi in the next couple of corners. With the top four with penalties, this could potentially be for a podium, as Banana's gone for track there. That might be a warning, knowing how strict it is through there. He's not going to be close enough to really make a move here, but Kick Butt Kiwi got a nice run there. But again, it's not close enough, as Esnui is in the grass at the back there. He's dropped it out of the fast right-hander. I think he's just kept it out of the wall. That's not going to help though. Loss of track position, plus some warm tyres. He's going to have to take it easy for the next couple of corners to not straighten it up. And F1 Hawkstrom, oh, he spun it as well. Championship leader is dropping down out of the points now, and he's probably going to get a penalty for cutting that corner there. He's lucky if he doesn't. I don't think he does, but a couple of mistakes there, critical mistakes from people. As we've got to move up the top as well. Macedonian getting by the Stone Tower for P2, gets the move done. So lots of things happening now. Plenty of action. Esnui was in the pit, so maybe he did get some damage hitting the wall there. So I'm just trying to catch everything. I don't know why that swapped there. Macedonian into P2/1 now. Someone else is going to have to tell me whether Scotty's there or not, because I have no idea. The Stone Tower having to concede now. So Haas in a very strong position now. Kick Butt Kiwi and Reaper switching positions too. So Reaper possibly making a little bit of a mistake in the last couple of corners, letting Kick Butt Kiwi through. But that'll be the next one to make a move. Might run on board with the Renault here. He's going to get a nice run out of this corner. Reaper trying to save some ERS. Banana uses all 4% of that battery. Reaper does his best to cover the inside, but can't quite enough. Banana down the inside. Can he hold it? Reaper around the outside will have some nice traction. Banana on the curb has just managed to keep that from spinning. That's nice and close there. Reaper's going to push him out wide. Banana's going to have to take to the gravel, and that's going to let Little through. Banana does just hang on. Don't want to go through here side by side. You're going to lose a lot of momentum. You can see how much time the pair of them have lost to Reaper, and Banana got DRS just as a lucky boy. Back a little just behind there, but a bit of questionable overtaking there. So yeah, lots of guys in close proximity right in the middle here. Looks like the Rock and Kavudi behind. The Rock getting by for P9. Kavudi in P10 now. So a bit of action happening in the midfield there. Bit of news in the chat. Andrew, that looks like Server Knight's logo, or D4 server. Lobby glitch. Right, so servers net issues may have compromised the lobby slightly with the host. Banana may not have been able to see him in, because Banana is the lobby host. That's probably led to the problems where I can't see Scotty, and then a couple of those other things like all those 5 seconds and whatever. So not really an avoidable incident, it's just the game not really working as it should. But that's not really great news, considering this game is 10 months old and it still doesn't really work at a fundamental level. It really doesn't make things easy, which sucks, because like the game, it's a good game, the cars drive well, it's a great kind of image for Formula 1, a lot of people play it, but just all the glitches and all the little broken things don't really help the playing experience. Banana Pie going down the inside of Reaper again. and this time gets the move done. Reaper has to concede as Banana managed to get alongside enough to hold that line. And Reaper now drops to P7. Banana in 6th, so well done there for Banana, getting the move done. He's now got a couple of seconds ahead to keep Buck Kiwi. That battle really holding up the pack there. Esnui's that's the quickest lap, having a pit after that mistake a couple of laps ago, so he's got a lot of pace, but he's not really anywhere near anyone enough to use it, so knew he's going to need another safety car to get back in this race effectively. We'll have to wait and see, but Banana Pie, he's still got Reaper behind him, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move. Bags Littles might be though. Thinks about it, sort of forces Reaper later on the brakes, and it's going to compromise both of their runs. Unfortunately, neither are really able to capitalise on an opportunity to make a pass, so they will stay put for now. Scotty's still glitching up and down the leaderboard. So yeah, we'll just have to take a guess still with that. Kickbutt gets by Edmund for P4. So Kickbutt Kiwi now looking really nice at the front there. Considering the Stone Tails penalty as well, that's effectively for a podium, so well done to Kickbutt Kiwi to get himself up there. Edmund's 5 seconds, he might be able to get that off. Same with Macedonian. Looks like the rest of them have managed to get themselves off that penalty as well from the start, so that's good there. Bags a little all at the back of Reaper here, though I think Reaper may have temporarily lost that position, but he's now got it back there. Bags Little's P7. Decent showing. As we're giving a special shout out reserving for tonight. So well done to Bags Littles. We'll see if he can hold on to some points. That'd be a pretty good way to say hello to Tia. The rock behind is going to try and deny that, as with Kavudi. We saw F1 Hawk make a mistake earlier. Spinning. That's a big crash for the rock, and that's in the wall. That's a big hit. We saw that just in the corner of our eye on Kavudi. And that's going to bring out a safety car with 9 laps to go. So I think you'd have to pit for softs at this point. Let's go on board with the leaders and see what they do. That's a big hit. Macedonian is coming in, and surely everyone else is going to follow him. F1 Hawk gets a drive through for speeding, and that's the last thing he would have wanted. Looks like everyone is coming in except for Bags Littles. He's going to stay out. He's going to be in P1 on track, but he's going to have nothing in terms of tyre grip. So he's taking the chance, which is good to see. But everyone else is in the pits. Scotty's in the pits on softs apparently, even though he's actually on track on my screen, so who knows. But Kickbutt Kiwi, everyone, Stone Tower, Banana, everyone is coming in the pits. Everyone gets retired from the race. So he's decided enough's enough. Pretty sick of this lobby by the looks of things. The Stone Tower will be our leader from our point of view on the softs, with a bunch of guys behind him, as the Rock has lagged out as well. No, the Rock has retired him. No, he was the one that crashed, wasn't he? So the Rock has decided enough's enough. He's not going to watch the end of the race. So we will have probably 6 laps of racing, maybe 7, by the time everyone catches the safety car. So it's going to be a bit of a shootout. He's put on mediums, maybe because he doesn't have enough fresh softs. Crookie has not pit. I think he may as well pit though, being right back there. I'm not sure why he hasn't. He's not going to get track position on anyone. Will get saved with the front wing. Server, I think, has left the session still, unless he's just typing in the chat. So yeah, I don't know. Weird stuff. F1 Hawk has left as well. He's not interested in watching this restart. So Bags Little leads. The soft tyres. This sort of saves Banana a bit again though. He's now in P4. He's made a bit nice jump in the pit stops as well to get right back up there after having to serve that 5 seconds with the extra stop as well. So Banana gets another chance at a good result here. Scotty possibly in P1 still. Kickbutt Kiwi and the Stone Tower can be pretty even on pace. The Stone Tower's penalty will hurt him, as will Reaper's potentially. Reaper does have that 3 seconds, so it looks like all of the garbage 5 seconds have now been served. So all the penalties on screen there are 3-second penalties, so genuine penalties. We'll keep a note of that. That could really affect the race results. So the Stone Tower is going to have to leg it and try and get a gap on as many people as he can. So yeah, Macedonian is one that has lost a few positions in the pit stops. I'm not sure why he's down there, because he was with Scotty and the Stone Tower front. So not sure what's happened to Macedonian. I wonder if he's gotten a wing change or had to serve a penalty. I wonder if it was that 5-second penalty there, but he's got a bit of ground to gain again. Safety car might or might not be in this lap, not sure, depending on whether those last two guys will come in or whether they'll catch the pack enough. They're not going to catch it. Sometimes the safety car is a bit premature in leaving, but it might be one more lap here. We should find out now. Looks like it is going to be one more lap, so there will be 6 racing laps, 6 laps of Bags Little to hold on for an absolute dear life on people who are going to be much quicker than him on fresh soft tyres. So I wonder how high he can hold on to. It's going to be a real mission for Bags Littles to retain solid points, but it's good that he's giving it a go. I appreciate that. I think it's good to see people giving it a go, trying something different rather than just sitting in with the norm. So we'll see what he can do. The likes of the Stone Tower kickback going to be absolutely rapid off the line, I think, though. You really need traction in the last corner. So if I was Bags Little, I'd be waiting until the last possible moment to restart to try and minimise the length of that straight, because they're all going to not just launch off the corner better, but they're all going to be able to brake later as well. So it's going to be a real challenge for Bags Littles, but we'll see what we can do. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap. The whole pack is there now. So yeah, we'll have 6 laps of racing. Yeah, not really much else to talk about now. Server did get a lap back, but he's still a lap down, so he's not going to really gain anything. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's just focus on this last 6 laps then, because who knows what will happen. It's going to be really spicy. Bags Little is holding the pack up now. Safety car has been released, so it's now up to the AlphaTauri substitute driver to dictate the pace. When will he go? If I was him, I'd be going as late as he can, but it's all up to him. He could go early. And he has gone early. And he's actually got a decent jump, so decent jump for Bags Little was there. Who knows where Scotty is, but we can only focus on what we can see. Looks like Macedonia might be the one to make a move here, though. He's alongside of Grim Reaper and the Mercedes. Late in the brakes, Macedonia will take P5 there. Reaper has to settle there behind. So now into P5 for Macedonian, trying to regain a bit of that track time again. But Arcade Pie is on the back here of a couple of guys, but Bags Little's done a decent job of hanging on for now. Kickback Kiwi is right there too. The Stone Tower still ahead of the pair of them, although with a penalty. He's going to need to try and put the foot down as much as he possibly can. As always, nearly dropped it and saved it. Always saved it just, but that's going to cost him P2 and possibly P3. Banana sneaks through as well on the inside, so a bit of a mistake there from the Stone Tower, which is the last thing he would have wanted. Macedonia now trying to get around the outside of the Stone Tower, and there's contact. That's pretty heavy contact there, actually. Bit of emotion in this battle there, and they've both. Oh, that's not a good instant there. Stone Tower, unfortunately, and Macedonian having instant, Macedonian getting turned around on the inside there. I think the position was sort of won by Macedonian, and the Stone Tower needed to back out of that one. But he's got another 3-second penalty for cutting corners, so that's going to drop the Stone Tower a lot further back but I'm very impressed with Bags Littles here, who's still hanging on. Kickbutt Kiwi and Banana keep having a battle, and Banana can't quite get around to Kickbutt Kiwi there. There's a bit of a gap now back to Stone Tower, who looks like he had a compromised last sector. So these two might be safe up the front here, but Bags Little has some clear air, and he's doing a marvellous job on those hard tyres. Restart, everything you could have possibly asked for in that restart. Chaos behind, no one directly threatening him there, so he is laughing at the moment, is Bags Little. Stone Tower, he might have something to answer for towards the end of the race there. Mastodon now way back in 13th, behind his mystery teammate. Service still a lap down on our screen, so who knows. The midfield looks like Kavudi hasn't really made much progress in those medium tyres, although he hasn't lost too many positions either, so it's probably a good thing for him. I'm not sure why every time I look behind it goes to the AlphaTauri. I'm not trying to do that, but we might run on board here with Banana, who's still over the back of Kickbutt Kiwi for P2 there, so Banana looking to get into a really nice position here. The Stone Tower still behind them, will be out of DRS for now, but we'll see what Banana can do in terms of making a move here. As we come across the line, we'll have 4 more racing laps to go, so not long left to try and make your mark on this race. We'll see whether anyone can do so with any substantial force. Kickbutt Kiwi far enough ahead to stay ahead, no DRS yet, but should be active at the end of this lap, so Banana will have a chance to get by with that. Behind them, Reaper still hunting down the Stone Tower, not quite close enough either to force the issue. Edmund also not quite close enough. Kavudi not quite close enough. Everyone's sort of spreading out a little bit back here. Esanui and sort of close to Artie Cheng's, but still not really close enough to really force the issue. Crookie, he'll be wanting to hang on to those points. With the penalty, it won't help him at all. Stone Tower as well, the penalty, 6 seconds. Reaper with 3 seconds. So Edmund's looking for a top 4 at this point as well. Kavudi might just hang on for a top 5 even. As Rumble with Esanui cuts to that, that is going to be another penalty for him, which won't help. So that's now 6 seconds for him as well. I might stay with Banana though, who's on the back of Kickbutt still, but not close enough to really make a move. Kickbutt Kiwi's doing enough in the important bits to hang on there. But I'm most impressed with Bags Little. Here's Reaper and the Stone Tower making a move. Reaper around the outside, that's not really an overtaking spot, but he's got it done on the Stone Tower. So enthusiastic there, but I wonder if the Stone Tower just made a slight mistake on power. Coming out of the corner before, maybe that's let Reaper through. The Stone Tower really struggling now. Edmund is now going to be the next one to make a move. Looks towards the inside, but not close enough to send it down the inside. So Prezzo hangs on for another couple of corners. Although he's off the track and he's round, and that's a big error there for the Stone Tower, and that's going to drop him out of the points with 2 laps to go. That's really big there for his chances of points. That's the last thing he would have wanted, now down in 13th place, also known as second last. So not good there for the Stone Tower. What that does is promote everyone else up a position. So Edmund up at P4, 5 Kavudi into P6, Artie, Nui and Honest, and now Will is now back in the points after that. So bit of movement there. I expect to see a bit of movement up here though. Kickbutt Kiwi has now closed the gap again to Bags Little, so that buffer that the AlphaTauri got at the start is now starting to come down. Now there's a bit of clear air and no real crazy fighting behind. Bags Little will start to come into pressure from Kickbutt and Banana. There's still a bit of a gap behind them, so Bags Little could still hold on for a podium or P4 depending on if Scotty is actually there or not. I don't know how many times I've said whether Scotty is actually there tonight. Should be a drinking game I think at this point, because it's been a lot of times. Banana not close enough really either at the moment. Reaper's still there. A lot of guys don't have DRS actually behind, so the field is spreading a tiny bit. Crookie, Nui, seeing if anyone's close enough. No one's close enough. So it looks like a bit of a DRS train for the last couple of laps, 2 to go, so not much time to really force the issue. Kickbutt Kiwi, I think this is the one we want to stay on board with though, because this is the gap that is coming down. Bags Little on the hard tyres, 17 lap old hards versus 6 lap old softs, so softs probably be about the 30% mark at this point, 35%. The hards will probably be about 45 in my guess, 45-50, so the soft tyres should still have the grip required to close the gap and get the move done, but it's still not going to be the easiest task, particularly with this track being so difficult to really force an issue. So We'll see what Kickback can do. He's going to have really one more chance at turn 1, and possibly a chance at the hairpin, and he's not going to have many other opportunities to make a pass, so it's going to have to be pretty soon. I'm not sure if he's got the distance though to make a move here. I think the Stone Tower's gone around again at the back. No, that's the other Alfa Romeo. That is Will, who has dropped it at the back. He's going to drop out of the points now. It's going to put Honest Cook back into the points. But is Kickback close enough? He's not. So Bags Little safe in P2 for now. Slash P1, who knows. But Kickback Kiwi not close enough to make a move in Bags Little. Bags Little, I think, has done a fantastic job of holding that up. They're constraining the tyre deficit that he has. Banana Pie right at the back of Kickback there, so Kickback possibly making a bit of a mistake in the first sector, because that gap was not really that close before. Banana Pie with the solid drive hasn't had quite a thing to go his way in terms of that dodgy 5-second penalty and safety cars, but Banana's done a very good job to hold on to some very solid points. He will maintain a top 4 at least. It's been an interesting race, but Bags Little is coming around now for the final time, the third sector. He is in the lead on my screen. I'm going to have to confirm whether he is actually winning or not, because Scotty in P12 could well and truly be. I'm really lost for words as to how much of a failure this game is. The potential is there, and I'm not sure how they've gone so far backwards in a year. But Bags Little will cross the line in P1, which is a very good effort on debut. Scotty is apparently P2 on my screen there. Kickback Kiwi 3rd, Banana 4th, Edmund 5th, Kavuti 6th, Reaper, Artie, Honest Cook and S Nui in the top 10. Macedonian jumps Nui and Cook for P9, so that bumps Nui out of the points. Will in P11, 12, sorry, Stone Tower in 13th, and Server a lap down 14th. So this says Scotty is 2nd. Whether that's true, we will never know. I don't know why Artie Cheng's is standing on the right hand side of that portrait as well. That just makes things even weirder. If you want to have a look at the start of the race, if you just have a look at the first lap, you'll see what I saw in terms of what happened to Scotty. People around him were just driving as if he wasn't there. He was just getting bodied off the track and absolutely smashed into, so something's gone very wrong in terms of this lobby. So I'm going to have to get some confirmation on who actually finished on the podium, because I don't think this is quite right. I might just ask the drivers where Scotty finished, because I can't really say much. Okay, so apparently Scotty did finish P2. We just didn't see him for the whole race. He was chilling out in 12th and 13th for the whole race there. So Scotty does finish P2 behind Bags Little, who has won on debut reserving. I think it's his first race, but it's a fantastic effort to stay up there with the hard cars and seeing everyone behind him pit for fresh softs. I think he just about deserves driver of the day just for that. Kickback from 12th has done a good job, but OK Pie, through a bit of adversity, has finished P4. He'll be very happy with that. Edmund 5th, Kavuti with decent points as well, so double points to Williams, which is great. Reaper 7th, Artie Cheng's has done well in 8th, coming from right at the back. Macedonian and Crookie take points at the end as well. Crookie with a 4-stop, which is not a bad effort actually. Nui's just missed out in points. Will and the Stone Tower had massive what-if races. They were both right up there at the start, but a few mistakes and incidents have cost them a lot. Serbo with a bit of a mystery situation as well. F1 Hawk did retire in the pits after picking up an unlucky drive-through after a poor qualifying. The Rock also retiring on track in a big incident, and Bernard and Josh spinning it under the safety car. So I mean, to say that this race had everything is an understatement. I feel like that gets said a lot, but this race did genuinely have everything, including surprises, not being able to see drivers, whatever. And to know that there is a new game coming out in 2 months. Not too sure what to think about that, honestly. Let's just hope it works, I think, is the first thing. Because yeah, just a lot of issues is not making it easy for us here. But that'll do it for round 12. We have 3 rounds left. I think it's Japan, Monaco and Brazil from memory. Don't quite quote me on that, I'm like 70% sure. that they're the last few races. So some difficult tracks in there, some really technical tracks. Japan is very hit and miss, I know, with some people. I think it's a fantastic racetrack. It is tricky though. Monaco doesn't really need anything said about it, and Brazil, a funky little track as well. Plenty of history in that. So yeah, be interesting to see who comes out on top of those tracks. We've had some pretty racy tracks recently, so it's going to be a fun end to the season. Don't really have the championship standings with me right now, so I'll make sure to have them before next week. But make sure to tune in for this race next week, same time, same place, for the next few weeks while we finish out this championship. If you want to see the previous races, all but I think 2 or 3 of them are on the Race Spec YouTube channel, plus the other 3 Pacific tiers are out there, as well as the Euros and the Americas. Make sure you check out the Sunday leagues as well, the RS series, GT stuff on a Saturday as well. So plenty of good stuff happening in the Race Spec community. But we'll end it there. Thank you so much all for tuning in. We did our best in trying circumstances, but yeah, not a bad race, I think, overall. So thank you everyone, and hopefully we'll see you all next week at Japan. Have a good evening.